It had to happen for me this way so that I could find, a purpose of to spread this message, to keep talking about eating whole food. Whatever we've been told is usually the opposite. I really do believe that now. If you've been told, the masses have been told, you've got to do it this way, this way, this way. People are doing that and it's not working. And so maybe just try it this way. I was never very good at losing weight. The most I ever lost was 15 pounds. And I ended up gaining 10 pounds of that back. I was 47 when I decided to do this. And I'd been overweight for 10 years. And I started to feel much better and I just can't stop talking about it. I had no idea how much better I could feel after getting my metabolic syndrome under control. The way I did that, of course, was through a carnivore diet, and I didn't even find the carnivore diet until I was 47. In my late 30s, when I gained a significant amount of weight pretty quickly, and then I carried that for about 10 years. Think about, maybe what I'm eating is making me sick. Once I made that connection, it was life-changing. But I didn't even make that connection until 2023. Maybe this isn't what I need to do, low fat, lean meat, little to no red meat. I don't think that's working. I've never tried doing the opposite of that. So I did try the opposite of that when, again, I found myself just sick and miserable and wanting change. I tried that and it worked. It's the first time in my life that I have ever lost weight and maintained it for more than, honestly, like weeks, 2 weeks. I have been at a healthy weight and I've lost 45 pounds since I was 42. Just doing the carnivore diet, I have lost 35 pounds in the last 16 months. I was pre-diabetic. I was 35 pounds overweight. I was anxious and depressed, and I'm talking, my anxiety had gotten to the point where it was crippling. It was keeping me from doing things. I had brain fog. I couldn't think. I was just, they just say, oh, well, that's middle age. And when I started eating carnivore diet, I didn't think about any of these other things. All I cared about was getting my body to calm down because I'd had a reaction to something I had eaten. Thank goodness, because that made me realize, that gave me that connection that, oh, what I ate caused this problem. I really think it was just about hearing the message at exactly the right moment, feeling desperate, miserable, and just like I had tried everything. And then hearing this message of, well, why don't you try this? And so I did. I ended up being really successful. I was never very successful losing weight. It wasn't even like I could lose weight and then I would regain all of it plus some. It was that I was never really good at losing weight. Once I switched to eating a carnivore diet, it fixed so many other issues that I was struggling with that I thought were just issues of, aging. Everyone around me, deals with anxiety, depression, brain fog, headaches, hormone levels out of whack, dermatological issues, rosacea, joint pain, aches and pains, gas, bloating, bathroom issues, being obsessed with food. I was obsessed with food and alcohol. It controlled almost all of my waking thoughts. I had so much inflammation. My hands and fingers were always swollen. My rings were barely fitting. I had such a puffy face. My entire body was inflamed. I had no idea that it was linked to what I was eating. I needed something to clean the slate, to clear the slate, to get my body to calm down. And I did the carnivore diet for 2 weeks, just thinking this is just a reset. It was just going to be a reset. But after 2 weeks, my inflammation had reduced enough that I could tell. Other people couldn't really tell, but I could tell. So I thought, well, I'll just do it another, couple of weeks. So 30 days. And after 30 days, I was like, still feeling good, losing weight. It was a lot of inflammation. At that time, I heard the message of just try it for 90 days, beef, butter, bacon, eggs. And by that time I could, I thought, okay, I can do this for 30 days. I can do it another 30 days. By the time I hit 60 days, my anxiety had lifted, my, malaise and just going through the motions, that had kind of lifted, and I had energy and I wanted to do things. And I was not being plagued every third thought of what if this happens? And, my mind wasn't racing at night when it was time to go to sleep, and I was sleeping, and I wasn't having terrible anxiety in the car. And I thought, this is something. And by day 90, my cravings had really reduced, and I didn't have intense cravings for sugar and carbs. And it was like a switch had gone off. Within the first 2 weeks, I stopped thinking about alcohol within the first few days. And let me tell you, I thought about food and alcohol while I was having a meal. I would be thinking about the next meal and the next meal. And, what about in 6 months when we go on vacation and where we're going to eat? And that had lifted and that had stopped. And I could think about other things, and I started to enjoy just the simple things. And there are days, of course, even still, that I will have a fleeting thought about, oh, that would be really fun to do. And it's usually an emotional association, like, a celebration or something. And I will have a fleeting thought of, sugar or food or whatever. And it's like my finger's on the switch. And I know if I ever flip the switch back on, I can just flip it right back off. So that gives me hope that, I just need to get through today. That's how I did it in the beginning. I just did it day to day to day. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And, I had some slips, of course, but I learned from those. That's how people maintain something. I do think that you need to have a few slips or whatever, because that teaches you, oh, I don't really like how I feel now. And it's directly related to, my behavior, whatever that behavior is. So I just kept doing it, and I got more hopeful and more hopeful and more hopeful. And now it's been 16 months and I'm down like 4 sizes. I cannot remember, and I have a really good memory for things, but I cannot remember ever being as, lean as I am now. Even as in high school, I was a little bit, I wasn't this lean, and I'm healthy and I feel good and I have so much energy. I don't remember, it's been 20 years at least since I've had this much energy and that I can think. And I know that it all happens for a reason. And I know that it had to happen for me this way so that I could find, a purpose of to spread this message, to keep talking about eating whole food, do not cut down on fat and salt. That's not the problem. Whatever we've been told is usually the opposite. I really do believe that. You don't realize how bad you've been feeling for years until you start to feel good again. And I have thought to myself many times, nothing is worth going back to how I felt. I didn't even realize that we're all just, going through the motions and suffering because the masses are suffering. We don't even realize this is suffering. It's not normal to be overweight and, feeling like this is the end of the road when you are in your 30s and 40s. It's not even normal when you're in your 60s and 70s. We have so much information available to us now. Start, watching videos of other people's, experiences. And it addressed so many different issues. It addressed all of the, mental health issues that I was having. It addressed all of the physical, symptoms I was having throughout, systemic issues that I was having. So it improved everything. None of my health issues have gotten worse. I've gotten better. So, I don't suffer from headaches all the time, which I had headaches my entire life. I have freedom, and I have time to think about other things, and I don't have to make all these mass calculations. Oh, but I have to eat a variety. You don't. That's kind of a myth too. Food variety is a myth. You can eat any kind of food you want during the day. And I never liked eating chia seeds and chia bowls and oatmeal and that kind of thing. Gross. But I like bacon and eggs. I've always liked bacon and eggs. So I can have that, and I can have hamburger patties. So it is freeing. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Because I'm not special. I just did it over and over and over with a lot of help from people in the community, and thinking, I can do this for another day. I can do this for another day. From support from my family. That certainly helped me along the way. I got a lot of help from my friends. And it's been the best, most profoundly changing decision I have ever made. So